So going through the Awakening series is exactly that. It's about awakening. So I felt like I came with one set of ideas or one set of ways of looking at things, and each time that I had contact with the series, something surprised me. Something was different. I didn't even think that you could look at something that way. And I was having experiences that I had no logical. So I studied philosophy in university. So I was trained really logically and to really use reason and logic. And when I went through the Awakening series, I started having experiences that I couldn't deny were happening to me. But I couldn't logically say this is the reason that they were happening, because they were so profound.
Well, when I first went in, I didn't know what to expect. And so I was looking for the next thing in spiritual growth and development. And then when I got there, it was everything that I didn't expect and more. I was surprised. I was excited.
We know that there's way more out there, but the problem is we just can't stop all the doing. Every day there's so much to do and we can't see what's out there. So when I go to the Spiritual Awakening series and I see what's going on and all the growth, is people get out of that space of just doing and they learn how to be. And when they learn how to be, they hit that path of self-realization. That path that people only dream of. Can you imagine being put on a path towards something that everybody dreams of but nobody knows how to get to? Well, at the Spiritual Awakening, you actually learn how to get on that path.
You know, I wasn't on a spiritual path. I had a friend of mine who sent me an email that said, you know, maybe you would be interested in this. And there was something inside me that really was. I didn't know what it was at the time, but it was, I signed up. I was feeling anxiety, I was seeing the doctor, I was sick all the time, my adrenals were shot. I didn't really realize what bad shape I was in. And then I started on the path, and it's funny because I saw my doctor a little while ago. It's been 6 years now. It's just got my scans back from the chiropractor. I mean, I've never been healthier, right? It's absolutely incredible. So it's been, yeah, game-changing as far as physically, mentally, spiritually. My relationships are so much fuller and more fulfilling. I mean, it's, the list goes on and on.
I was really anxious. I knew that there was a deep potential within me that I just had no way of unlocking. And I found teachings and truths to be able to finally begin the process of unlocking some of that potential, and it's beautiful to actually experience that.
Peace, you get peace out of it. Understanding, you get understanding. Facing your truth and facing up to some of the garbage that you put yourself through and getting rid of all of that garbage, that comes with it too.
Once we enter this path and, you know, for me personally, begin to face the stuff that I needed to face and, you know, maybe look at some areas in my life that I really didn't want to look at, having the community, the friends to be there to really just, it's incredible how somebody could say something at just the right time. So could I do it by myself? Probably. Would it take 100 times longer? Probably, right? You know, we really help each other evolve at a faster rate, without a doubt.
Oh, the community is probably my favorite part, in the sense that I feel completely safe being seen exactly the way that I am. I feel there's no judgment, and there's a vulnerability in everybody that is there that you don't find in a lot of other communities.
You know what? It's so nice to be able to enjoy a community of like-minded people, right? Because once you learn something, it's kind of like, once you experience something that moves your heart, right? And if it essentially changes you and you experience that with somebody else, all of a sudden the community that you enjoy is more than just a community. It's like a family. And it's like I have friends that I never expected to have. And when I talk to those people, I can talk honestly and openly and from the kind of context that we jointly share, because we all have the same context for the experience of life. And that is something that you just can't find in regular life.
So at the Spiritual Awakening classes, one of the core foundational pieces is meditation. And some people come to us and say, well, I've learned to meditate before. Isn't that just taking 5 minutes and, being calm? Well, it is. That is one tiny, tiny, tiny slice of meditation. At the Spiritual Awakening classes, over the course of the 8 weeks, you're going to learn a very, very powerful setup process as part of your meditation that will allow you to go beyond that initial 5 minutes of meditation and will allow you to get very, very deep and very connected with your inner self.
I learned so much about life, about meditation, about how to apply teachings, how to apply meditation, how to use meditation, how to understand how I drive and work inside.
Oh, it's absolutely heartwarming to have someone finally receive something they've been waiting for years to finally get. They know deep down that these truths exist, and they've simply forgotten them, and when they awaken to them, it's just like a beautiful opening occurs. It's magical to see people just open up and their hearts start to expand. It's just fantastic.
Yeah, it's really such a gift to get to introduce people to themselves, their true self, right? And that's really that's why no journey, no spiritual awakening series is exactly the same. The teachings that are created for them are never the same because all the souls that gather there are so unique. We engage in the illusion and we engage in other relationships, and how often do we truly take time to take a look inside and meet ourselves, right? So really the job of the facilitator is pretty easy as far as just guiding people to look inside, right? But the teaching has huge depth, so.
My experience at the Center for Transformation? Has been a life-transforming experience with the center. I actually joined under the assumption that I had just graduated from university, or I was in my last year, and I found the center kind of through an ad and in a magazine, and I checked it. I was like, oh, I'll check this out, and I remember coming and I thought, well, this is something that I can do for a couple of years in between whatever I'm deciding to do next. And this is going into my 8th year now. It's been a completely mysterious and always evolving experience where I never feel like I'm not learning or growing as a person. Some of the deepest connections that I've made in my life with other people and with myself have been formed because of the center. Some of my greatest insights and transformations on a personal level have been as a result of being part of the center. So that's really hard to put into words on a heart level what my involvement with the center has actually meant to me.
Now, the interesting thing is there's also teachings that go along with the meditation. Because with your meditation practice alone, you can connect. We go way beyond that. We teach you how to clear, and we teach you how to create. It's so core, it's so essential to what we do. So it unfolds gently over the course of the 8 weeks, and starts with looking at, what is your world like? What is it that you've created? Who are you now? What are all the things that you've become? And what is it that's out there for you? What are your dreams? And we get you to take a look at everything that you've created in your world. And you get to decide what serves you and what doesn't. And you get to go through the unfoldment of the 8 weeks and go deeper all the time with a very safe group. It's an intimate group. It's cozy. You get a chance to know each other very, very well over the course of those 8 weeks. People get to be open and vulnerable, and they get to have breakthroughs and they explore.
So I would have experiences that couldn't be defined logically, that made me go, okay, something's happening here. I can't deny that something's happening here, and it's really big.
What is truth? It's really, what I feel truth is there's foundational spiritual principles that when you're taught them, you just know deep in your heart that it's true. And you know the neat thing about it? It works. And that's all you need to know. It's so simple, it's so profound. And really that's what the Spiritual Awakening series is about. It's about introducing to you these core principle of truths that people just aren't taught today, that will transform your life if you are ready for it.
People have such deep understandings when they go through the 8 weeks, and they come out of that and then they think, is there more? There is more. After you're finished the first level of Spiritual Awakening, you go into what we call SA2, Spiritual Awakening 2. It's absolutely wonderful. The Spiritual Awakening 2 series is designed to take each individual participant and each individual person in the class to an entirely new level. They get to go deep. It's tailored exactly for what those people need in their lives. And it is an amazing experience. That's another 8 weeks. If you think about it, the SA1 is just the tip of the iceberg. And with SA2, you get to go deeper, even deeper.
You should just sign up right now. What have you got to lose? Nothing.